Let's have a look how to upgrade your Gardiner telescopic pole to the latest adaptive smart clamps. We'll be providing these in various forms, DIY upgrade kits for your specific pole, and all of the upgrade kits will include the clamps for the extending sections. It won't include the top clamp, which is for clamping your quick release gooseneck, as this really doesn't need this adaptive smart feature. However, they can be bought separately if you want to do this. Let's have a look first of all how to strip the old pole down and take off the old clamps ready for fitting the new clamps. First of all, we need to separate the sections. Right, we've separated the pole. Now we need to take off the old clamps. This can be done very simply with a hacksaw and screwdriver. If you want to cheat, you can simply saw off the end of the section with the clamp, but that will lose you a few inches over the length of the telescopic pole. So my preferred method is to saw through the clamp body itself. You need to be very careful not to saw down too deep so that you go into the carbon. You just want to go into the adhesive below the plastic clamp. So you saw through like this, a little when you think you're nearly through, you can take your screwdriver. No, not through yet. Removed the clamp without damaging other than a tiny mark on the carbon below. We'll need to clean this up in a minute. Let's do the same on the other clamps. There we have the three sections with the clamps removed. Now we need to clean them up with a sharp knife blade. Make sure you scrape any loose adhesive from the end of the section, but you don't want to dig your knife blade in too deep because you don't want to remove any of the carbon itself. There's the excess glue taken off. We're now going to abrade them with some sandpaper to get the surface ready for gluing. Put the sandpaper on, being careful not to go below the glue line. You don't want to abrade the surface of your pole. These are abraded. We'll clean those in a minute, ready for gluing. What you get in your kit will be the necessary number of new smart clamps. You'll get an alcohol cleaning wipe, and you'll get a thing of epoxy glue. This is a slightly flexible twin pack epoxy. This is a commercial size dispenser, but we'll also provide the DIY upgrade ones with small 10 milliliter versions of this. So now we need to prepare the clamps ready for gluing, and to do that we need to take our sandpaper, and on the lower level, not the upper level, but the lower level, we need to lightly abrade the inside edge. This just keys the surface ready for the adhesive. Right, now we've keyed these surfaces, we've keyed and cleaned the end of the carbon sections. Now open the wipe. First of all, clean the abraded inside edge of the clamp body. This flash dries in about 10 or 20 seconds. And now we clean the end of the carbon section. Right, if you think you might want to use this again, simply fold it back up. Let's look at mixing the glue that comes in the small 10ml packs with the upgrade kits. First of all, remove the top, open up the package, and now we squeeze the contents from one side into the other side, and it helps if you use the edge of the plastic to squeeze all of this across into here. And you mix this so that the two amounts go in together. So it's a good idea to use this, or even this half, use it to slide the material back and forth so that it's fully mixed until there's no clear material, but all the hardener has mixed in with the resin. And there we have a 10ml pouch of mixed glue. Now what we're going to do, we're going to snip off a tiny corner and squeeze it out as a dispenser. So I'll get a pair of scissors and do that. Okay, if we just snip off a small corner, we now can use this as a glue dispenser. So dispense a small amount onto the clamp and then use this as a spreader and spread the glue over the clamp, and then do the same with the residual. Starting off, spread glue over, and when you need a little more, use the dispenser. And then once you've put it on both layers, twist the clamp together with the section. You'll see there's a little bead of excess glue just here. We'll wipe that off in a minute when we've applied the others. So let's put that to one side and carry on with the rest. Now if there is any excess glue, we can use the wipe that we used previously to prep the sections to wipe off the excess glue. There we are. There's the excess glue wiped off, making sure that we don't leave any on the section itself. Now we're going to leave that to dry. Now what you will notice on these sections is when you look down, you'll see there's some excess glue in a little bead where the inside of the section meets up with the clamp body. Now the easiest way of dealing with this is to let that dry. So we're going to let that dry before we deal with it. Okay, I've left these overnight to dry. They usually dry within 1 to 2 hours to be able to work with, but it's best if you can leave them overnight. So now we're going to finish these off. As you can see, they've dried, and where you can see the edge of the glue here, it's a very glossy, shiny finish, and it's actually slightly flexible to touch still, and this is because the glue retains flexibility, which works well with the carbon as it moves. So now we're going to clean out the inside of each section. To do so, use something like a knife like this. It's the correct shape for getting in, and you'll see down inside here there's a glossy bead of glue around the seam inside the clamp, and what we're going to do with the edge of this knife is we're going to pick off that glue seam. So what we do is we get in there and just with the tip of the knife, there we are, and once you get under the seam, it does depend how much glue you use as to whether you have to do this or not, but it's better to put enough glue on and then have to pick the seam off than to have no glue inside. Now that you've taken the seam of glue off, you need to check that you've fully removed all of it by just sliding that section in, and if the section slides in easily like that, you know you've removed all the glue. So now we're going to reassemble these sections. Make sure the clamp is opened up in the open position. Take your section, insert it in, slide the joint stop tape in, and then all the way down. Take your next section, make sure the clamp's open, undo the clamp lever slightly to allow the joint stop tape to go in. There we are. And do the same on this one. There we are. If the joint stop tape doesn't quite go in, just undo the lever a little bit more. There's the sections reassembled. Now we need to adjust them so that they're ready for use. Basically this means tightening it up until you can extend your sections smoothly still, but when you close the clamp it's tight. Next one, tighten up, a few turns, yep, still extend smoothly, but grips firmly. Same again with this. But grips firmly. And this was an older pole with quite a bit of wear at the top, and you can see that the clamps are clamping on the wear nicely, but also are clamping where it's not so worn. So they're doing their adaptive smart clamping straight away with no further adjustment needed. There we are. You've updated your pole with a set of Gardiner smart clamp. You'll notice with this pole that I didn't actually upgrade the joint stop tape at the bottom, and when sliding it out, sure enough, the joint stop tape is sliding past. What you can do is just tighten up the clamp slightly until it stops on the joint stop tape, but still flows smoothly as you extend the section. Or we can upgrade the joint stop tape. It's a good opportunity to do so. So undo the clamp, fully open, pull past, and let's upgrade the joint stop tape. Right, and let's put some new joint stop tape on that. Depending on the wear on the pole, you usually put about a wrap and a quarter. You may find that that's not quite enough and you have to do more. You may find it's slightly too much and you have to do less. Also, another clever thing with an older pole that started to wear at the base of the section is to put a wrap of the PVC tape, not overlapping but just a single wrap around the bottom, and this will greatly reduce the wear on the base of this section before reinserting. So let's put that back into the clamp. Okay, I've opened the clamp up fully so that the new joint stop tape slides in. You see it slides smoothly, so you haven't put too much joint stop tape in. And then tighten this up, clamps tightly, still extends nice and smoothly, and let's see how the joint stop tape works. Yeah, sure enough, the joint stop tape works fully, which means you've got enough joint stop tape in there. Closes back down and clamps fully. That's refreshed your joint stop tape. I'll do this on the rest of those sections. Here's how to choose which Gardiner Smart Clamp upgrade kit you need. You take your pole and just identify the top section, and we ignore the clamp or the screw thread of the top section because that doesn't need to be changed to renew the action of the sections. And on this pole you then count, and because this is a pole within the last 2 years, it's got the numbers of the clamps on them, which make them easier, but this is clamp number 2. All of the DIY upgrade kits start from clamp number 2, so you'd need 2, 3, 4 and 5. You'd need a 4 clamp smart clamp upgrade kit. Now you won't be able to buy these on the website. You'll need to ring our offices, who will match your order to the pole that you've bought, and depending on when you bought the pole is the amount of discount you get off of the smart clamp upgrade kit.